Good day, Internet people! It's deck profile time, and this time it's me.
Who are you?
I don't think I've done a Royal Paladin deck profile before.
I've done a few, but...
You've done a few, but I don't think I have.
So what's this particular build?
This build is, you're going to have to wait and see. But we'll start off with She-Starter.
Surely the giveaway will be in the thumbnail, but okay.
Yeah, well, some people might not look at that.
Holy moly, it's a G generation Easter thingy.
Shining Knight Milius!
Is he still the best starter for Royal Paladin in the G era, do you think?
Well, to be fair, Royal Paladins have always had limited starters.
That's true.
Ever since its start.
They never did get their Conroe.
They haven't got a Conroe. Their grade 3 searcher for Royal Paladins is a promo in Japan. It's not even been announced here yet.
Wow. Yeah.
Milius, Forerunner, GB1, counterblast 1, put him. I think Milius is a him.
It's a him.
It's a him. Put him into the soul, look for a grade 2, and call it. Simple.
Yeah.
Triggers. 4 Seeker Loving Heals. Picked purely because of looks.
Because it has to be this guy.
4 copies of a Margle.
Yeah.
Shiny version.
If you're going to run a draw trigger, there's no reason not to run Margle.
Nope. And put him into the soul, give another Royal Paladin +3, but does anyone actually really ever do that?
Yeah. Give the soul charge.
And finally, as this deck is an experimental deck, so I am trying to mess with people's brains by running 8
triggers.
Nope, 8
Yeah.
stand triggers.
Whoa! You're mental.
You've got Silent Sage Sharon, which is exactly the same as Margot. Put her into the soul, give something else +3. And we also have Encourage Angel, which is when this unit is placed on Vanguard, choose up to 2 of your other units, they gain +3, and then put this back into your deck.
Oh yeah.
You'll see why I run stands later, I'll explain why later. Right. For the standard grade 1s, 4 copies of Holy Knight Guardian, standard, and to compare. 4 copies of Laurel Knight Sicilus, Ditch for Stride, again, standard.
Standard.
Now, 2 new cards from this GB Tier 4. Is that still the latest set at this point?
Technically, yeah. Yeah.
Not including extra boosters.
Yeah.
Battle Song Angel. Alright, GB1. If you have 2 or more other grade 1s or less rear guards, this gains +2,000. So, he gains +2 if you have a back row of grade 1s, or if you still have a starter and you have one grade 1. You get the idea. It's basically Snowball, but better.
Yeah.
And unlike Snowball, where you have to run multiple copies of it, you can just run this at 2, and it'll be fine. And it also has resist. So all those retiring decks, Phil, Kagero,
I don't even use Kagero anymore, come on.
or Link Joker, can't touch it.
Yeah.
And also from the new set, 4 copies of Knight of Reform Pure. Now, I need to reread it because it's easier. GB1, when your other grade 2 unit is placed on rearguard, if you have a grade 3 or greater Vanguard with Ultimar in its card name, choose up to 2 units in the same column as this unit and they each gain +2. So, for argument's sake, column, Battle Song Angel, and appear on the left. A grade 2 is put on the right. That gains +2, this gains +3. It just throws power around, which is what decks seem to do really much nowadays.
Yeah, all decks just throw numbers all over the place now.
Right, grade 2s. We shall start with apparently the what's the word I'm looking for? The Cheese. Debated? Yeah, that could work. The debated choice is 3 copies of a Vanilla 10 Knight of Silence Galatine. Because I can't have a Paladin in the deck without a Galatine in. I just can't do it.
It's tradition, isn't it?
It just feels wrong. 4 copies of Knight of Fragment. Which is, of course, GB1 during your turn. If you have another grade 2 rearguard, this unit gains +2. And also, if this attack hits, you may soul charge 1 to unflip a damage. And the final grade 2. 4 copies of Knight of Twin Sword. The card from the trial deck. When this unit is boosted, counterblast 1. If you're on GB1, you may find another grade 2 and call it to rearguard.
Whoa.
Simples.
Simple.
Right, grade 3s. We'll start with the backup. Grade 3. Sanctuary Guard Dragon.
Whoa.
Yeah, I know you were expecting that, except it's probably on the thumbnail. Right, it's easier for me to read it because there's a lot of text. Right, Limit Break 4. During your turn, this unit gains +3,000 for each of your grade 1 or less Royal Paladin rearguards. Also, choose a Royal Paladin from your hand and discard it. When this unit is placed on the Vanguard circle, you may pay the cost. If you do, search your deck for up to 1 grade 1 or less, call it to rearguard, and then shuffle your deck. For those of you who are new to the game and are thinking, hang on, I've never seen this unit before, because this was a unit from Season 2, which Daigo used.
Yeah.
Which basically introduced him and it introduced Aquaforce. He was like the first Royal Paladin to have a limit break.
That was from the EBO 3, was it?
This was, hang on, it's MTO1.
MT.
Mega Trial Deck 1.
Oh, okay.
The cards some of the cards now, like there was like one Jewel Knight that became ridiculously expensive.
Oh, there was Urien and there was Pathetic Jewel Knight Olwen as well, I think. I think there was 2 in there.
Yeah, their prices increased massively when Jewel Knights became a thing.
Yeah. Because it was the only way to get those particular cards. It was annoying.
And finally, come on, this is a GB Royal deck, so Altamile, hang on, get back there. Oh, Altamile.
Yeah, they took out the O.
Altamile.
Alt.
Right, GB2, during your turn, all of your units in your front row gain +5. And counterblast 1 during your turn. When your G unit strides, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose 2 of your cards from your hand, call them to separate rearguards, and then choose up to 2 of your units, and those units each gain +5. However, as a double act, Phil, you'll back me up on this, you don't have to call units to give other units power, do you?
No. You can keep your hand as it is and just give the 2 +5s wherever you want.
Yep, so in essence, you can just say counterblast 1, give 2 units a trigger.
Yeah, basically.
Right. Strides! We'll start with, hang on, because I use quite a few different kinds of strides in this one. Right, so we'll start with Gablade. When this unit attack hits, you may look for a grade 2 and call it. Pretty simple. We now also run 1 copy of Samuel, because you don't need 2 copies of Samuel.
He's kind of like a...
He's a 1-turn thing.
Yeah. Because late game is no good, because your opponent's probably already on 5 damage anyway.
Because because of Samuel's skill, he requires you to have a full rearguard. That's right, isn't it? Yeah, sure. Hang on, let's just go scroll up here. Hang on. Counterblast 2, when this unit attacks, if the number of cards in your opponent's damage zone is for only 4 or less, and if the number of your rearguards is 5 or more, you may pay the cost. If you do, choose one of your opponent's vanguards and automatically deal it 1 damage.
Trigger checks still come off though,
Yeah.
so if they get a heal trigger and you're like, oh.
And it still kicks in. But it's just early pressure, because if they're guarding early and they're on 3, you stride him, Counter plus
Oh, yeah,
2.
if you've got a full
bang.
field early on, then it's great.
Yeah. But that's why I only run one of him, because he's not only really only required to be at
Your
one.
finisher, if you've got it, I don't know if you had it, but the same blow as your finisher. Yeah.
Spoilers. Next.
He's won me so many games.
Next is a card that has some people may know, some people may fear, and in particular if you keep up with like the Japanese game, you will have heard of this card. Holy Dragon Sanctuary Guard Regalia. From the Fighters collection. He's only a double. He's dirt cheap. He was dirt cheap when I bought him. But why is he mean? Right. During your turn, if you have a heart card with Sanctuary Guard in its name, like this little thing here, all of your units in your front row gain plus 3,000 for each of your grade 1 or less units. So, say Stride 1, Samuel. I have a full field, Can Blast 2 hit. Your next turn, you still have a full field. Stride this thing. Your entire front row gain plus 9. Yeah, they gain plus 9 automatically. And because it works throughout the entirety of your turn, that's why I run stand triggers. Because if your front rows gain plus 9, you make sure they attack first, and then you get stand triggers. They're still hitting, increasing that with that 9 still. So say if you have Fragment, that's 2 attacks with them coming at you plus 20,000. Because his skill will kick in. Sanctuary Guard decks are incredibly mean and throw power around like nobody's business. And if you're not used to fighting Sanctuary Guard decks, they will kick your ass. Because I'm pretty sure I've seen Sanctuary Guard win a couple of the singles tournaments going around.
What's that happened? Wow.
The early ones. I think Mega Colony's starting to dominate as of now. And seeing Blake's deck, I'm not blooming surprised.
Yeah, he just locks you down for turns on end. It's like,
Right. We'll have to ask him if he'll do a deck profile for us.
yeah.
It's his birthday tomorrow.
Is it?
Yeah. And finally, as you heard earlier, Phil's favourite card, because he also has 4 of these. This is how I realised how evil this card is. 4 copies of Saint Blow Dragon.
It's a beast.
It's a beast, and I had to get it imported from America.
New America.
Yep, to save me some monies, because they were expensive. Choose a face-down card named Holy Dragon Saint Blow Dragon from your G-Zone, turn it face up. This unit gains plus 3,000 for each of your rear guards until the end of turn. If the number of face-up cards in your G-Zone is 2 or more, well, of course it will be by now because this is considered a late-game card, and the number of rear guards you have is 2 or more, which is easy for a Royal Paladin deck, this unit gains a crit.
Yeah.
So, right, Phil, let's do some maths.
Oh, don't do maths.
A full field
Yeah.
and a Saint Blow. How much is that by itself?
Well, for me,
So that's
Saint
3
Blow-
times 5.
a Saint Blow with an 8k booster, assuming, like in my dual knights, then it's 49 and a crit.
Have you got a perf?
Because it gets plus 15 and then you've got your booster and your stuff, so yeah.
So have you got a perf? No. Late game, Saint Blow hits you hardest.
It's particularly funny when you see them put a perfect guard into their damage zone from Samuel the previous turn.
You're
That
mean.
tends to happen.
You're mean, you are.
It's quite funny.
Right, at this point I'm going to immediately say to people, why don't I run the Ultimile Stride? Because I don't have any.
Yeah, basically that.
Yeah, I don't have any. And to be honest, when it first came out, people were all a bit like, meh.
It's better than the Susanoo one.
It's better than Susanoo, yeah, but as much as it finds a grade 2? That's it?
Something like that, I don't know. I don't even think I've looked at it.
And to be fair, I would rather run these than run an Ultimile Stride. Because the reason how I run my strides is it depends on what grade 3 I have ridden. Because the way I built this deck is it doesn't matter which grade 3 I run. Which grade 3 I ride on. Because if I have Sanctuary Guard, then that comes into play. If I have any of the others, the rest of the deck comes into play. So if I run Ultimile, then Ride Ultimile, these two cards won't get used. But if we're doing a best of 3, I have a different strategy to attack my opponent with. Which is what I like doing. I like having different options for attacking people. It just makes games less stale.
Yeah, when you can change it up a bit, it's a lot more interesting.
Games get boring if you have only one tactic, and especially if you do best of 3, which is